Truly, work on the task you set your hands to with dedication. I was reminded of these wise words and the joy I felt as I proudly left the king's palace, having been rewarded with a small, well-wrapped gold parcel for the excellent work I had presented. For a long time, I had crafted spears, but this time, the king's task was not something to take lightly. This is how opportunities come to you after long preparation. As I walked out, holding my little parcel, I felt like I was walking on clouds. Should I buy a house near the palace? Or climb the mountain and become a local leader? Or... My thoughts were many. When I arrived at my sister's place, as I often did to share good news, we talked about what we could do. But my idea kept circling back to lending my gold to her husband, so he could become one of the well-known traders in the city. As they say, when a starving man sees an abundance of food, he may speak unnecessary, sometimes hurtful, words, but I had learned early on not to say anything that would hurt my sister. So instead, I replied that we would think it over together since we were family. After leaving my sister's house, I stopped by Jack's, a gold lender, like a modern bank. Jack had experience lending gold to merchants and others who sought loans, earning a return from them. I explained my situation, expressing my dilemma over how to use the gold, and my deeper concern of lending it to my sister's husband. Before I could finish speaking, Jack asked, "Does this man you want to entrust your gold with have experience in trade?" I replied that he had never traded before, but he said he was confident he could do it. Jack looked at me and laughed, saying, "You came to me for advice, yet some have already told you what you want to hear, making it hard for you to refuse. So sit down, listen, and perhaps you'll learn something from my business experience." Saying this, he opened a box, taking out a beautiful garment. He told me for each person I lend to, I place a mark in this box. When they repay, I remove it. When they don't, it stays as a reminder of bad clients, those who borrow beyond their means. This garment is different though. It belonged to a dear friend of mine, a business partner. We once traveled abroad, where he met a woman who adored him and they married. She was beautiful, but unfortunately she was a curse. My friend spent his entire fortune trying to keep her happy. When he ran out of resources, he asked me to lend him some gold to continue trading, promising to repay. But a foreign woman, you understand. This garment became a reminder because, in the end, he took his life, overwhelmed by his debts. This taught me not to give my wealth to someone led purely by emotion. Debts are not always repaid. After hearing this, I understood what Jack was trying to imply about my sister's husband, but I let him continue. Then he said, "Let me share the story of a farmer who had the special ability to understand what animals were saying. One night, as he crossed a bridge, he overheard the ox complaining to the donkey about how hard its work was, laboring from morning till evening, bearing heavy loads, while the donkey's work was simply to carry their master now and then and graze all day. Feeling sorry, the donkey advised the ox, "Tomorrow when the farmer comes for you, pretend to be sick. Maybe you'll get a day's rest. You look exhausted." In the morning, the worker told the farmer that the ox was unwell, so he said, "Use the donkey instead because we need to finish the field work." The donkey spent the day doing the ox's hard work, growing tired and resentful. That night, the farmer overheard the ox thanking the donkey, saying, "You've been a great friend for allowing me to rest." But the donkey, tired and annoyed, said, "They say kindness can be a burden. Tomorrow, do your own work because I overheard our master saying that if you remain sick, he'll send you to the butcher." After telling the story, Jack asked, "What lesson did you learn?" I said I didn't see one. He replied, "I thought you might not because it's subtle. The lesson is that when you help a friend, do so in a way that doesn't transfer their burdens onto you. My friend, gold is my business. I lend it only to those who can repay. Otherwise, I would go bankrupt quickly. Helping family and extending benefits is good, but it's even better when done wisely. How many years have you worked?" I replied, 30. He asked, and how many gold coins do you make a year? I said 3. So you would give up what you earned over 10 years. And then he said, go and keep your gold, my friend. Help as much as you can, but be wise about it. Finally, we want to conclude by saying, the richest man in Babylon does not teach greed or selfishness, but explains why, when you go to the bank, they ask for collateral. When you lack it, remember to dedicate yourself to work. Thank you.